Hey everybody, this is Belle. I hope you enjoy my interview with Altered Carbon star Chris Connor. Sorry about what happened the other day.
Oh no, it all happens.
I don't know what happened, so I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Sure.
Alright, so let's go back to all the questions I was going to ask you. Altered Carbon is a massive hit with fans and critics. When you first read the script, did you realize how big of a hit it was going to be?
No. You just hope that people relate to the story. Of course, I had heard of the books, and I then read all of Richard Morgan's writing, and it had good source material that was popular in the cyberpunk community. But whether it would translate to a larger audience, we didn't know.
Did you read any of the books before you started working on the show?
Yeah. I read his all of his series about Kovac, and of course my character's not in the books, but it's always good to know the source material before you start something.
What was your favorite piece of material to work
on? You mean script-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, there's parts of the first season and the second season that were both really fun. I think it's just the opportunity to have so many different writers contributing to my character and getting to play with all of their words was probably my favorite part of the whole journey.
What was the audition process like?
It was very short. They couldn't find the first which character they wanted Poe to be, because Poe is not in the books originally. In the books, it's the hotel is based on Jimi Hendrix, but they couldn't get the rights from the Hendrix estate, so they settled on Poe, and it was very quick. I went into a casting office, put my audition on tape, and auditioned one time, and then waited to hear. And once I got the job, I was soon at work, not long after.
Did you do any research on the real Edgar Allan Poe while preparing for the role?
Quite a bit. I read his whole canon. I read a lot of the literary criticisms and insight into his life, and because he had such an interesting life outside of even his literature. And then there was one book in particular that I really liked, which was a collection of his letters to different people in his life that kind of shed some depth and darkness into my portrayal of him.
When it comes to being Poe, how much of him do you see in yourself?
Well, I think you try to find parts where you're similar with any character you play, up until a point. And then at some point, it's a leap of faith. Poe's darkness, his romanticism, I think I definitely have parts of that. But eventually, you're playing a lot with your imagination to create the character, because it is an artificial intelligent life form taking on Poe's persona. So it's a pretty big jump.
What did you think of Poe being a malfunctioning AI for season 2?
I thought it was an ingenious idea of a way to have me back, and we massaged the glitch and the sickness that Poe has. We played with different ideas for that, and Allison, the showrunner, and all the writers, I think, really came up with a brilliant way into us understanding what Poe's going through.
What was easier to do for the character, and what was hard for you to do for the character?
I enjoy. I'm somewhat facile with language, so I enjoy playing with all of Poe's romantic and lofty dialogue. So that's pretty. I don't know, easy is the right word, but it comes naturally to me. And then I think the hardest part was staying in that place of Poe being sick for all of season 2. It's a difficult thing to sit with that for months while you work. Or at least it was for me, and I got very tired doing it.
Was it easy or hard adjusting to different actors playing callbacks?
Good question. I find it pretty easy and also freeing. It's somewhat liberating when you get the opportunity to play with so many different actors, especially at such good quality. You got Joel, William Lee, and Anthony Mackie are all utterly different humans and brought such different qualities to each of their Kovacs, but they are all equally very talented men and really fun to get to play make-believe with.
What was your favorite scene to film with each of them?
Season 1, I think that opening scene was really fun, and then also my supposed death at the very end of season 1. Excuse me, sorry, that's my my R2D2 reminder.
I love that.
It sometimes it gets annoying as R2, but anyway, where were we? Oh, I think the season 1 was either my death scene or the very first scene in the hotel, and then season 2, I think getting to meet Dig 301 was really fun, and then the Renouncer's construct outside was really beautiful, and especially get to shoot outside finally. I'd spent years inside sound studios as opposed to getting to be on location, which was really a good time. And then the last scene of season 2, because it brings us all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, see, the ending of season 2 was a total shocker. I mean, Poe gave Kovacs a chance to be reborn after backing up his stacks, which would imply the character coming back in a future season if it happens. What was it like to film that very scene?
It was great. It was very exciting at the time because you're anticipating the next chapter, and hopefully Netflix will give us a season 3. We haven't heard yet, but we're waiting with bated breath.
I'm hoping there's a season 3. I love the series so much.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I watched season 1 so many times before season 2 came out. Yeah, even when there's nothing else on, that's the one I would pick to watch.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thanks.
Both seasons of the show was phenomenal. You did a great job playing Poe. Now that season 2 is over and premiered on Netflix, what's next for you?
I have nothing right now. I'm waiting for another job. I have some inklings and whispers out there. My agent and management company are looking for stuff for me, but I'm developing a book for the screen called Death in 10 Minutes, which is about the radical suffragette Kitty Marion in England. But acting-wise, I'm just waiting for someone else to give me a job.
Well, I hope you get one soon.
Me too.
What was your inspiration to act?
I think I had an inkling from a very young age. I was a bit of a loner and kept to myself and played in my imagination a lot. I grew up in a very small town on the Mexican border called Silver City, New Mexico, and it's a very quiet, sleepy one-horse town, and I got to be outside a lot and play cops and robbers in nature and pretend to be other people. And so I think it was sort of a logical step for me. Whether I actually would ever get to do it professionally, I think is 99% luck whether anybody gets to do this job.
Oh, that's very cool. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
What kind of movies or TV shows do you like to watch?
Oh, I'm addicted to British television. I thought the Sherlock series was terrific with Benedict Cumberbatch. And I think Fleabag is one of my favorite shows ever written. It's on television right now with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And I think Afterlife, Ricky Gervais's show on Netflix is pretty fascinating and great. My wife and I have been watching the new Picard, the new Star Trek.
Oh yeah, I haven't started it yet. I'm still trying to catch up on all the other Star Treks I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I know there's a lot, but it's really good. And Michael Chabon, the novelist, is actually the showrunner and writer, and he's probably my favorite modern novelist and a supreme talent. So we've been enjoying that quite a bit. And then I have some silly fun things that I like to watch, like Doctor Who and any food cooking show. I'm addicted to food television. So that's pretty much where my entertainment lies these days.
Well, if you like British television, I would recommend watching Dracula on Netflix.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for the time talking to me today, and I'm so glad we finally got the chance to talk.
Me too, and I'm so glad you're a fan of the show, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll keep my fingers crossed for season 3.
I'm praying for you too.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.